you so much for being here. I hope we get some more people on tonight. I think it's going to be a really fun topic, considering today is the 11th of January, and if we put that into context, 111, some major big energy happening today. Lots of things going on behind the scenes that we are not necessarily privy to, but it doesn't mean it doesn't influence us in some way energetically. So I think this is an amazingly exciting time to be alive. It's amazing. Excuse me, it's pretty incredible. So tonight's topic is the eye of the storm. And the eye of the storm can be, and no picture? Oh gosh, hold on, I'm getting, live stream recording is not available, usually says waiting host. Okay, sorry, I gotta take this real quick. Try it again. I am here, I am here. Can you guys see me? Sorry. I've got somebody else trying. Can you reload it? I see you, fantastic, so it's working. Just it's working. Don't we love this? I've had tech issues too. Now we've also, Mr. Payne, thank you for coming. I love this. This is good. We're having technical issues all over. This is nothing new. I've been having issues here at the house. I'm living out, not in town, but I do have technical issues from time to time, which again I had tonight, so my setup isn't exactly how I would like it. However, I'm running with it. I don't care. So back to this whole concept of being in the eye of the storm. There is so much going down on the planet. It's amazing. Now, we can be feeling stressed, we can feel confused, we can feel depressed, or we can choose to really activate being in the eye of the storm, literally in the center. Now, originally I had posted this amazing picture to go with this. Oh, my door is starting to open. I think my cats are trying to get in here. This picture of the center of a hurricane and taken from an airplane looking up at the sky. And I really feel that's where we are right now, is in this center vibrational pattern. And why not, let's just take that visual, that concept, and bring it to ourselves individually, from the eye of being able to see things and seeing things from the big picture, and with discernment at all the things that are going on, and adding it into eye of the storm. We are the center of the storm. We are the ones we've been waiting for. I mean, it just gets exciting. I've got lots of things I want to share with you that have come on. Sammy, how are you? I love this. Everybody knows Sam is my twin brother. I have to share a side story. Sam and I met, I have to tell you this, Sam and I met in '92 in Cancun, and we kept running, it actually was on the island of Cozumel, we kept running into each other. And we finally said, you know what, maybe the universe is bringing us together for a reason. Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie's here. I love all you guys. And there's another story about Bonnie. I'm just going to tell the world, Bonnie, you're our walk-in. That's a whole other story we started to get into in another show. And Sam and I met, and we've been connected ever since. So that was '92. That was just a few years ago. Think about that. So, and Bonnie, she and I met at a show, how many years ago now? And Chrissy and I met on TikTok, so I love this connection. And Sheila, I met her at a thing I was speaking at. Golly, it's probably been 10 years now. So it's been a while. So yeah, instant it was. So today, I don't know about you, but I have been on this, well, I think it's every day right now. I have been definitely downloading all kinds of different things, exactly. And watching a lot of videos, reading, staying on top of what's going on in the world. And that's why I really tapped into this eye of the storm concept, because that's where we are. And we right now are the ones that we've been waiting for. We're the ones that need to really tap into this energy. And what can we do individually? Again, like I was saying earlier, this energy could then actually make us more depressed or anxious or frustrated, when in reality, it's time to take on the warrior. Oh, Tracy's here. Fantastic. And happy birthday to Claudia, wherever she is. One of my other. And Eileen is here too. This is great. This is wonderful. I love you guys. Big hugs from me to you. So big things, right? Big things are going on, and every one of us is a part of this. This is what's so exciting. I have been like a little kid excited. Now, I know this is true for Sam as it is for me. I have not been sleeping very much. Bonnie hasn't been sleeping very much. I know it's because we're really picking up on the collective energy, in addition to all the different things that are being uh, propagated, pushed on us in the media, but also all this other information. We're going, oh my God, this is so exciting. Can you read this? Oh, do you have time for this? You got to watch that. And it's that energy that's amping up. That's really, yeah, 3 to 6 times a night. I ate. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. It's that energy. It's really exciting. It's really amazing because we're tapping into, again, this collective energy right now that's infiltrating us, and not in negative ways, in very positive ways. If we put it into context, the earth is supporting us, the Gaia, because she's a living organism, she is a living, breathing, I just get goosebumps. And this energy that she is supplying us, that she is giving us. That's why I'm gonna talk about my crystal cards, and that's why I draw one every week, because the crystal is part of Gaia, and that energy supports us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We are also being supported by what I would call the higher dimensional realms. You can call them angels. There is definitely an angelic force that's, probably up in the seventh dimension. We have higher dimensional beings that help seed this planet, that are actually helping us as well. And then we have the alliance. There are certain words I can't say, but I can say the word alliance. The alliance of higher. I'm going to use the word higher dimensional humanity's thinking. Our apparatus, the best in humanity. Those warriors out there that are really making a difference to add to this huge collective shift, that no matter what happens, how it looks on the outside, we cannot escape this. It's just so flipping exciting. Now, all of us in this chat have been connected at some place in time out there in the time-space continuum. We've all come back together to support the whole. We've all come back to make a difference on the planet. And even if it's just connecting from me to you, to others, we are lifting the vibration of this planet. And then again, you add in the higher dimensional realms. It's just creating this frequency. I mean, think about it. The earth, higher dimensional, comes to here. This is where we are. This is where we are vibrating. I'm just feeling it too as we look. It's just so exciting. So with that, I'm going to segue for just a sec. Got to put my glasses on. The card I pulled, speaking of Gaia, tonight is Amazonite. I actually have Amazonite, but I don't think I have it in my office. I think it's in my bedroom. It's a really gorgeous stone. This is the color. Mine actually tends to be more turquoise, but this is just a fantastic stone. And we're going to read what it has to say for this week from the 11th to next Monday. We've got so much going on every single second. So we got to participate, and we can add the energy of the Amazonite into our frequencies, into our thoughts, into our cellular frequencies, because again, we are literally being upgraded, and I want to hit that note next. Okay, so Amazonite is about peace. I'm all over that. And if you think about it, the president has implemented so many peace treaties over the last 4 years. Sorry, my glasses are being weird. And this is just another way for us to, again, use those energies and really focus in on that peace frequency, not only externally, but most importantly within ourselves, which goes into the next word, which is serenity. This is all about coming into a place of, I'm just reading for the first time, just so you know, is that place of balance, of peace and serenity within ourselves. So that's what we're going to be talking about more, about going in to be the eye of our own storm. Connection, excuse me, connection with each other. This is very important, and especially if any pieces of the web go down, because as we all know, the censorship is over the top. Little old me got kicked off Twitter. I mean, are you kidding me? Now, it's probably because I won't say his name, the owner, CEO of Twitter, I compared him to Rasputin. They even look alike. I compared their personalities, their mental disorders. Probably didn't get me in high favor, so I'm sure that's what kicked me off. But seriously, look up the pictures. They look so much alike. So we've got so much censorship happening right now, and so much disinformation. This is why this connection is so important for us to reach out on the web, reach out in our text, reach out, phone calls, whatever it takes. Reach out. He does. He does. He truly does. So it's so important to stay connected to those who are, I know, that are like us, high-minded frequency, because it's when we're around in the outside of the storm, if we get caught in that maelstrom, and I will share a personal story in just a little bit. If we get caught in that maelstrom, it can impact us emotionally and take us down, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. So this is so important, this sense of connection. It's also about spiritual connection, Amazonite is. So this is, again, about coming into, it's so perfect for the eye of the storm. I love this. It's coming in within to the heart center and then being connected, right? That spiritual connection with our higher selves, the angelic realm, the higher dimensional beings in the different aspects out there in the multiverse. So keeping that connection going. The next thing is about balance. Find out where your life, or look at your life. Are you completely balanced? Are there places in your life that could be better balanced, rebalanced? So balance is a big thing right now. I mean, think about it. It's everything is so disproportionate and out of whack. Masks, mandates, vaccines. Are you serious? This stuff is really bad news. And the lockdowns that are being implemented in different countries around the world, it's so draconian. I think I can still say that word. There's certain words, oh my God, they trigger everything. So with that, this sense of balance within ourselves is absolutely essential. So if there's anything in your life that is swinging you one way or another out of balance, it's really time. Imagine like fishing, where you put the fly out and you bring it back in. As you bring it back in, really see where that balance is or is imbalanced, so that you can go within. This is huge. Or another visual is to imagine yourself on a teeter-totter. You're going back and forth, but get in the middle. I always liked that place when I was a kid. So you could be in control of it going either to the right or the left. So think about that. Find out, really focus on where you might need to really work on your own personal balance. Amazonite's got a lot of words to it. It's amazing. A lot of energy around this stone. It's about perception. Oh my God, is that just perfect? Perception. The perception that so many people have right now is incredibly myopic. It is a perception, a personification that has been perpetrated on humanity for decades now, because back in the 60s, if you recall, is when they first started realizing subliminal messages really work within commercials. And if you think, yeah, the teeter-totter too. And if you think that tech hasn't improved tremendously, then we're really daft, one of those. So the subliminal messages and the ability to really disinform the masses, to hypnotize using kind of MK Ultra. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I won't go into detail right now. But that ability to hypnotize the masses. So perception is absolutely essential. And if you know those, and I know we all do, those whose perceptions are incredibly limited, it's easy to get frustrated with them. I can be queen of that. And at the same time, the best thing is just to send them love. Stay in your balance, stay in your eye of the storm, and send them peace. Because, and I'm going to say, and send them what I would call just gentle updates, gentle reminders, gentle, because I like the word gentle, is different articles, information that can help awaken them. As an example today, there's a family that I've known since I was 4, and the matriarch of the group has just turned 90, and she's been one of my lifelong special friends. And they have been sitting in the fear camp. And I really like to think about is fear and courage camp rather than red or blue, Democrat, Republican, even going as far as the Alliance and the Black Hats, the White Hats, the Alliance and the Luciferians. I really want balance and imbalance, right? More of that type. And when you see these that are, or fear and courage, those two, I think these are a great way to look at it. When you see these people, reframe how you feel about them and share with them how to get rebalanced. Share with them why you are courageous and you're not fearful. Because this is drives me crazy, actually. And along those lines, when I'm done with this, I'm going to share another personal story about the difference, too, about the fearful, the courageous, the intuitive versus the analytical. We can keep going with that. But, okay, one more thing is under the Amazonite is creativity. Now, I've got to read this because, again, sounds like a great stone. It's also known as the artist stone, another great time to be creative. So if you're thinking about any kind of artistry or endeavor, from cooking to gardening to painting to whatever, you could get a piece of Amazonite and stick it in your pocket. It will help amp it. So your current confusion, no, how many people are confused, and frustration, I've had my moments, are a result of the emotional instability which has caused you to see things from an imbalanced perception. So, do we, in this chat, do any of us have an imbalanced perception? Well, I'm sure we do. I don't know if I would say any of us do really when it comes to the outer picture of what's being played for us, but perhaps there's an imbalanced perspective and perception on different, sorry about these glasses, with different people that you know. And for example, I know people that are way left and very fearful, and so my perception of them is very limited. However, if I were to change my perception and perspective on it, I could look at it in terms of, well, they're not as evolved, they haven't been on the earth as many times. I mean, go on and on with those kinds of reframing of the perceptions. This has all come about because you have allowed yourself to become physically, emotionally, and mentally drained. Well, I don't know about you, a few of us here have been physically drained because we haven't been sleeping. The beautifully healing energies that radiate from this Amazonite crystal will help restore your balance, peace, and clarity. Let go of all concerns and trust. Love that. All you desire will manifest soon. Let's see, it says, this is a good time to switch off, no kidding, and get away from it all for a while. Spending time in nature will help. The more you let go of the desired outcome, the clearer things will seem, and the faster you will get what you want. And you know what is so perfect about that is trust. What part of the plan, what part of the story do we not trust? I mean, we've all heard this now for several years. Trust the plan, trust the plan, trust the plan. And we're, in the storm. So right now, the energies align to have Amazonite show up so that we can learn just trust. Just no matter how it looks outside, don't read all the nonsense. It's just trust your inner knowing, which is really fantastic. Now, what I want to share is the personal story. I almost should just read the text. I received a text from a person that I've known since I was 4. And this goes back to perception again. And she basically told me that my posts were insane and that I am dangerously wrong. How's that one? Dangerously wrong. And that I have gone too far, and so she didn't want anything to do with me. Somebody I've known since I was 4. I've known her husband since I was probably 10. Long time. Her family, her mother was a Sunday school teacher, her dad was my high school principal. I mean, it's pretty deeply embedded, right? And interwoven. So when she sent me that text, my first instinct was to be, of course, hurt. I'm like shocked. I was with my son at the time, and I gave it to him, and he's like, wow, Mom. He goes, I thought you were really good friends. I go, so did I. So I went through a myriad of emotions. Sadness, hurt, anger, frustration, a little more being pissed off again, right? Just those feelings of what we go through when we become hurt. And that's why that when it says, what is it in myself or in ourselves, that our perception of someone isn't as clear as we like to think of it. And I've worked on this. I didn't even know this was coming in the card, but reshifting my perception of her, realizing that she is stuck in that outer storm. She is not in the center of the eye. She's not in that place of calm, peace, and serenity. And so understanding that her place is so foggy, so fearful, then I had to change how I looked at it and, forgive the situation, send her love and let it go. Now, I've never responded, just so you know. Now, the best part on this is just so cool. You guys know me, that what I always talk about is alignment. We have to be in alignment from our hearts, through our bodies, through our crown, to source, right? We have to be in this alignment. And when we're in this alignment, our bodies work, our brains work, our emotions are in balance. Back to that balance. When we're in this inner peace and balance, when we're in that space, we're able to create worlds. We're able to manifest. We're able to be healthy and be superheroes. So when I look at people, everybody comes to me for a session. I look at their energy fields, and I'm just going to say 10 out of 10, everybody's out of their zone. They're out of their light. They're just not there. And so I bring them back into light and do all the magic I do from meridians and chakras and bones and everything else. Well, the other night, I thought, oh my God, Candia, you've been angry today. That's going to throw me out, because anger can take you out of your alignment. I checked myself, because I check in on a daily basis just to make sure I'm on track. And what happened, what was amazing, is that I'm in my, what I call my warrior goddess zone, because I was totally in my light. All my chakras were aligned. All my meridians were good. I'm going, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so cool. So from there, I checked this woman, and I thought, let's just, and I looked very clearly. I always separate myself out, and I looked at her energy fields. I always look at your will to live, your vitality, your energy, your life force, and her will to live is good, but her life force, her vitality is down to 70%. She operates from fear. She's all about the mask. She's all about the vaccine. She's all about distancing. She's all about buying the rhetoric and thinking Fauci and Gates are gods. Yeah, I just have to take a deep breath on that one. Oh my golly. So her perception is totally the opposite of mine. But what I found so fascinating is that her energy was such a polar opposite of mine. Mine being at 100%, hers being at 70%. And the reason is back to polarities, back to balance, is the fear and the courage, right? So what I started to do is I'm going to pull up my kids, and this is like at 3 in the morning, and I pulled up my kids' energies, because they are both in this entrepreneurial phase of their life. They're both doing their own businesses, and through COVID, it hasn't been so easy for them to generate things, and so there's a part of them that's stressed and have duress. I checked into their energy. Guess what? 100%. They're good. I didn't have to put them into their light. They were in their light. I'm going, bingo, back to courage versus fear. Now, and then I went through a bunch of other people. I started going through, I'm going, well, this guy, I always know he's out of his light, in his light. So again, I just went through it. I was awake probably an hour doing this, going, oh, I got to check this, check this, check this. I even checked President Trump's energy, because Sheila asked me to, because we'd gotten this message that he wasn't feeling well. That's a misnomer. That was something that was put out there as a ruse, probably on purpose, so that the black hats would see it and say, this is good for us. But I checked his energy, and his energy was good. So again, it comes back to what we talked about this on the 21st, when we went through that galactic portal. And you have so many different psychics out there talking about this energetic upgrade. Well, let me tell you, it's absolutely true. And what I love is the physical validation, the intuitive validation of this frequency upgrade. And I literally see it going like this, and we're out on this other side. And for all of this that are going, okay, we want truth. We want to stand up for peace, as well as justice, as well as sovereignty for people all over the world. When we came through this portal, this galactic shift on the 21st, and how I saw it is we literally moved over to another trajectory. What it did is it has created this new frequency vibrationally to upgrade us all. But we hear this, but I'm seeing it really, really up front and personal, that we are now in this alignment of balance. So this is my next question. If you are in any way experiencing any fear, it's time to clear it out. Because when you do, you're going to automatically upgrade. The fear is what's holding us back. That's this outer piece of the storm, right? It's this outer whirlwind of nonsense. When we're in the eye, inside of ourselves, intuitively, uh, literally inside of our physical body too, so it'd be physically, mentally, emotionally, when we're in this alignment, and then in addition with these galactic energies that have upgraded us because Earth moved us. Earth's been in fourth dimension now for a couple decades. She's been ahead of us. So we're now in this 3D, 4D chaotic frequency. And yet as we move through and moved on this almost what I would call this orbital within our within our solar system, it helps shift us in such a way that the more you embrace this courageous part of you, this warrior part of you, this ability for you to say, I can, I'm going to just hold my strength within myself, whatever it is in relationship to your work, your family, relationships, communication, I don't care. It's about everything. It's embracing it. And when you say, okay, I'm fearless, even if you have to fake it till you make it thing, your body, the energy around you will line up, because that's how I see it. I was so excited the other night. It's probably another reason why I couldn't sleep, because I kept going, I got to check this person. I got to check this person. And oh my golly. And again, you would think logically, because I'm incredibly logical, that, and my kids are such a great example, that when I checked them, I was expecting, well, I better get some magic going, get them back in their light and do some magic. And I didn't have to, because again, they're living in courage. So my invitation to all of you is to really, really tap into that, because I think it's really cool. I've been like a little kid. That's probably why I'm living on about 4 hours of sleep. I was going to say, I don't look tired until I look in the mirror and I see how red my eyes are. And it's also because I've been reading so much and I'm so excited. So I hope that if you are at all feeling stressed or duressed because of feeling the suffering of the children abused. Okay, great question, Sheila. That's a great question. I hope everybody in the chat saw that. Because of the system, those little things come up very quickly and disappear for me. They don't stay here for whatever reason. Her question is great, because we have been dealing on this planet with a horrendous, I don't know, centuries deep crimes of human trafficking, of abductions, of pedophilia, of cannibalism, of satanic worship, Luciferian agenda, you name it. We've been dealing with this for a long time, and it's now coming into the public awareness. I remember when I first started reading about this back in the 90s, and I'm going, oh my God. I mean, think about it. We used to have the milk cartons with the pictures on. We should have been paying attention. I mean, what is it? 800,000 go missing every year in the United States. Okay, so great question. So imagine, because I can talk about that for a whole, I know you have to be really careful, but I could talk about that. But anyway, imagine that, because I'm going to stick on topic with the eye of the storm. So they're out here in this fog. They're out here in the mess and you can just imagine in your thinking right now, you can probably see it visually when you're out there in the fog. Imagine you walking where you can't see anything because the fog is so thick, and you see all these people and they're blinded by it. It's over their heads. So out in this area, on the outer fringes of that are these people, is this group of people that have totally bought into that system, and they're out there, outside of the vision of everybody else in this fog. So our plan, our deal, our focus, our direction with that is to big picture it, because there isn't a soul on this planet that hasn't chosen their path. That includes all these people that are calling on victim consciousness with BLM, Antifa, all that nonsense. And people are going to go, oh, that's so terrible. That's you're so uncaring. I've heard that word. But it's not true, because from the big picture, every soul picks where they are born. They pick their body. They pick their experience, because this is all about an experiential adventure. So those children that, even though from our perception is horrific, and it is, I'm not discounting that, their souls have actually signed up for that, to teach us what not to do, what needs to change, what needs to shift. And in a bigger picture context too, karmic, we can use it as karmic. I don't know how much karma really is true, it's because we all choose our own journeys, is that they are saying, you know, I need to do this from a soul level because I need to experience how terrible this is, maybe because they have been perpetrators in other lives. So there's always a bigger picture. Now that doesn't take or remove you from your compassion, your empathy, your caring. Excuse me, I get a quick drink. So the most important thing with that is to stay in the eye of the storm. So again, it's like being in your bubble of light, your soul ray light, and then seeing this energy out there and just sending them love. And the best thing when it starts to come into your consciousness is literally, and I do this all the time, is I just grab my hand and send them love. So it's out of my space, just move it on out, so it's in, you know, directed towards them, out of your space, and then ask, and I do this too, I hope you can see that, pull in the energy from the higher levels, bring that in, send that in, and trust that the universe, the angelic realm, the higher dimensional beings will help with that frequency. So no differently than when I see an animal that's been killed on the, exactly, send all of them. When I see an animal on the road that's been run over, even though that animal has already moved on into the collective, I still send them love just because, to help remove the trauma from that instant exit out of their body. So it's the same with all these children. And again, that's why staying in the center of the storm is so important. Okay, and Sheila, thank you for that, because that's a really good question, but it's also a really good perception on what's going on. You know, how do we deal with this? Because it's a tough one. I mean, there was one night when I was in a very large TikTok group and doing my live, and I had a picture. I had just seen this picture of this little girl, and then we started talking about the trafficking, and I just started bawling. I couldn't get her image out of my mind because she looked so much like my son did at that age, and just the abuse on this child was so horrific. So again, back to this perception of sending them love and putting them in a space of grace. Actually, oh, this is good. This just came to me. So I really invite you to do this. Again, imagine the storm, okay? It's as if it's a band of energy, right? If you, I don't know if my picture showed up or not, because I had to change, again, the technology, but it's a great picture to, you know, Google, don't use Google, Brave, DuckDuckGo, whatever, right? Find a picture of the storm, and it almost is flat, even though it's not, right? So imagine these children in that outer edges of the storm. And then when we think of them as, I don't want to say victims, but part of the system, see them above. This is so cool. See them above the fog. See them up here and bathed in light. And if all of us do that, and then you share that with somebody else, and somebody else shares that with somebody else, and we raise them up here so that they can be seen, because there's still so many people that think we're crazy that there's child trafficking on the planet. So if we start utilizing this with anything, again, the storm, we're in the calm, and we just lift them up in our minds above the storm and send them light, ask everybody to help in, done. Then you can move out of that space, like with this person. I can't call her my girlfriend anymore. I'm going to send her love. I'm going to put her above, so she's above the storm, and I'm going to send her love and grace, you know, and let that be done. And what that did, that just saying that totally changes it within my heart, which is a great thing, and that's what we all need to do. So again, from this card, because we all think we don't have our own set of perceptions on what's going on, and you know, for example, we're very polarized right now, and yet those who are on what I call the right road, that's a great way of describing it, don't belittle those on the other side of the fence. They just want to reach out and say, come on over. And it's in this trajectory that we have the ability to shift this planet, because we're all incredibly, incredibly powerful. Now, I want to check and see, because I had all these different really cool things, and I really wanted to share that story, and I want to say, I got that one. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Oh, you know what I did? I wrote the Eye of the Storm years ago on one of my blogs, and I'm going to read you pieces of it because it's actually very apropos. The eye, of course, is our central core, and it's our inner worlds, which is what we've been talking about, the eye. And it gives us the perception to really see things, because when we're in this alignment, our intuition really kicks up. So again, think of this as the spin of a hurricane that's been out of control. That's what's been going on now for quite some time. And it creates anxiety and frustration. And that location, that area of destruction, is where things get destroyed and things get broken. And relationships suffer, careers end, and health becomes disease. That's why it's so important to stay in the center. So this, in the center, imagine then as the sun coming in on you, the light above you and below you. And then what it does is it creates this sense of calm. And calm is really big, because we tend to react a lot of times out of frustration and anger. I mean, for example, with my friend, my instinct, because I can slice and dice, my inclination was to go, and I stopped and I didn't say anything. I stayed in my calm. And that to me is really, really important. And then let's see. Peace is imminent, absolutely quiet away from the rushing cyclone winds and fast tides. That's what this is all about. And our choices and directions are visible, healthy action is possible, which is absolutely the truth. We then have this ability, because this is when I said that, this is really where we are. We're almost in what I would say no man's land right now, even a purgatory right now, because we just had the election. Really, we had that event, and then all of this false information that's going out, and we have these dates that are looming on the calendar. You know, we've got the 20th, then we go into March. We are getting close, exactly. And then we have we go into March, because February is kind of a non-month for me when I think about it. I think it's going to be a lot of information dumping, because again, this year is the year of revealing. So I think there's going to be so much information. A lot of people are going to be getting really sick emotionally because they've been so duped. That's why awareness is so important. And then March, I'm just feeling this. I know other people have said this too, but I said this quite a while ago, probably back in December, that I really feel a lightening up in March. And the equinox is always such a great time because everything is equal then. And so all these things are looming on the horizon, right? So we're feeling this energy. So this is why we want to keep our bodies healthy as possible, our minds clear, our strength. I'm going to segue for just a second. When it comes to staying healthy, I got back into the habit a couple months ago of juicing, and I would highly recommend it. If you don't have a juicer, save your pennies. It is worth your expense, because you're getting the ingredients and the nutrients from dense ingredients from the vegetables or the fruits, depending on what you juice. I also do smoothies, so you're getting, you know, the pulp and the extras of the fruits and vegetables, but I also juice. And living on 4 hours, I still have lots of energy. So when we're dealing with this global stress, we have to stay as strong as possible. So think about juicing. I mean, you can always go buy juice, but if you have that opportunity, I went to a local store and got a 10-pound bag. No, actually it was a 15-pound bag of carrots. Costco carries them. I'm kind of on the outs with Costco because of their connection with control. Actually, the CEO of Costco is all about control. That really isn't good in my book. He just lined up with the governor of Washington. When he did that, I said, you're out. But Costco is one of those things that's really beneficial. From Target is an excellent substitute if you don't have a juicer. Oh, there you go. He's got a great suggestion right there. So from Target, you can get one of those. Oh, I also saw one of those little juicers where you put the thing and you go, you squeeze it, and it's instant juice, and it fills up a cup. So it looked like it was good. But the juicing, again, is getting those nutrients, because again, we've got to stay as healthy as possible. My feeling too is that through this upgrade we just went through, I'm just totally segueing because I'm just feeling the energies, I just have to do this, is that everything is going to become easier for us to stay healthy when we are in alignment, when we are in our power, when we are in this sense of strength and courage. Then your body doesn't need as much in terms of vitamins and supplements. So, for example, I use, it's called My Kind, and you can get their gummies because I hate taking pills. I take them, but I'm not fond of them. So I take those as an example. So you can get a daily vitamin from them, gummy. It's all from fruit and vegetable sources, and then boom. You combine that in with juicing. And then the more you're in alignment, you're going to stay more in alignment with the foods and eating foods that are going to energize your body, fuel your body. Because again, on a certain level, you're thinking everybody's going to be waking up. Well, the truth is there's still a huge portion of this planet that's going to go, oh my God, is this really true? And they're going to need every one of your help. Every one of us here tonight, they're going to need your help. So you have to take care of you. Again, back to that balance of peace, serenity, alignment, connection, consciousness, perception, and that supplementing your body with really good food. When you do that, when you're in this space, you can go to the grocery store and go, no, not this week, or no, I don't want to eat that anymore. And then you're going to find that just the healthy foods are going to make such a difference. So again, I would really recommend juicing. I'm a believer in it. It just gives you so much more energy. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to make sure I get into? What works? Letting go and letting go of the stuff that no longer serves us, which is really important. Like my friend, I just got to put her out into the storm, right? But I put her above the mix and send her love, and then allowing the divine to come in and reside in the eye of my light, my peace, my story. And that's really important. Allowing our connection with the cosmic force. Now, you don't really hear me say the word God very much. I do sometimes just because of my audience. However, in truth, I really go more for divine consciousness, divinity, unity consciousness, source, because it's so much bigger to me than God. God to me is incredibly limiting. And the reason I say that, if all of us were over on Sirius B or Alpha Centauri, our stories would be completely different. I also am a believer that we have been seeded here from multiple lines of ETs. And so because of that, we consider them our gods. And so we've got to go beyond, above that level. We have to go beyond and go into this divine consciousness. And when we're in that creative energy, then everything shifts. Then we become part of the co-creative energy. And this is another thing that's, I think, a valuable piece. Everybody, and I get this, and I'm not pointing fingers and saying it's negative at all. I'm just saying it's time to take things to the next level. And you hear a lot about praying for this and praying for that and praying for this, which is great. Okay, it's positive because it definitely makes a difference. And I'm going to say, and the other thing that's so important is to start seeing it, acting like it, tasting it, seeing what it is that you want to create, because then we are part of the co-creative consciousness. So when we're in that zone, we don't have to pray for something. We don't have to call in outer help, because we are part of that co-creative existence. We are part of this co-creative consciousness. So, like for example, when I was out walking with my very, very old dog, that's like bionic dog, doing actually quite well, is I start visualizing my bank account, how many numbers I wanted. I visualize the world, everybody moving into this new level and this new arena of med beds and health and vitality and this Gasara Nasara and global reset, national reset of putting money back in people's pockets. I'm seeing how people will respond when they actually don't have to live from paycheck to paycheck and are constantly struggling, and putting that into my vortex of energy, reframing how I see my own personal life. What do I want to do with my own personal life? And just see it, act it, taste it, touch it. To me, that is an even higher vibrational pattern than praying, because that puts me, you, all of us as part of this co-creative consciousness, rather than, again, externalizing. Because in truth, We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones that said, okay, we're here, we're aware, we just have to clear the fog so we can be here. How do I divide when the divisor is bigger than the dividend? For example, 2430. Thank you, Sheila. How do I, okay, I'm trying to think. That's a good question, but I need to know, could you resend that to me in a way that you're meaning? Are you talking about in terms of the division of people? I just want clarity, and I'm happy to add. I love questions, love questions. So is that in relationship to the division of the population, of how do we see that so we can reframe that, so you can put that into your visual? Or is that in terms of money? Because, you know, dividends in that regard kind of goes into financial piece for me. So I'm going to run with it until you type me up something in. But if we look at it in terms of the consciousness divide on this planet, is just division in general. I have a test coming up soon. Okay. Like, are you talking about math tests? Or are you just talking about, I want to make sure I got this? Because in terms of consciousness, and we have this great divide, which actually can go into math for that matter, is if we start seeing this, again, we're in the eye of the storm, and we see this division that's going on out here in the outer part of this cyclone, this energy that's out here spinning, and we see them literally kind of spinning up centrifugal force so that the rats are up at the top, so that, oh, math test, okay, I'll put that in there too. And then we see the frequency of these people who are living in fear and shifting, putting that into our visual, okay? Taking it onto a personal level with a math test, great question. How do you see yourself doing this? Okay, this is, can you see this? I'm sitting here writing, right? So in your mind, you're taking your test. I know it's a computer, but you get the old image, right? You're taking your test. In your mind, I want you to see the end result of that test, okay? So that when you say, okay, I'm done, you send the test into the teacher, the professor, whomever, when you see that, you see it with high marks, that you understood, you got your brain all working, and that it's finished in the highest and best level. And then just trust it. The other thing you can do, this is good for everything, everybody, is tap your third eye, which hits into the third eye, the pituitary, the pineal glands. Pituitary regulates the body. Pineal connects us to our higher self. So when you start tapping into that, you're activating both sides of your brain, right brain, left brain. Another thing you can do is do this, the infinity sign, that joins both sides of the brain together. I do this every day, just getting so that the brain works really, really on both sides, and that way you'll be able to access your knowledge that you already have, see your files of information available, and your math test will come out easy because all the information you're putting into your brain is there. You just have to access the files. And then see yourself having the good grade. See it, expect it, it will happen. You've got to, but you have to, of course, make the effort. You have to know what 1 + 1 is. It never equals 5, right? You have to know that. So there is a level of education, but there's also this other part of expecting, okay? Seeing it. So again, from the level of prayer, we want to go above that. You know, we want to go beyond that. It's just always, I always do this because I'm connecting the heart this way and seeing the light and seeing it from the higher perspective, okay? So that's how we change it, is from that level of expecting things. And sorry, I'm knocking things over on my desk because I'm ad-libbing. If you saw how my setup was, you'd just laugh. So that's really important about being in the center of the storm, right? Is coming from a place of manifesting, which is really good. Right here, you're in alignment with Source. You are part of the whole body. In fact, I have to share this. This is really cool. I've used this analogy for years, that each of us is like a cell in the body. Okay, so we're all working in tandem. So when you see it, you get next steps to get you from there. Exactly. Great, Sheila. Great addition. Now, where was I? I'm reading it. I should have. Where did I go with that? I had this great vision that just went away. Maybe I'll go back to here. Oh, isn't that funny? I had this great analogy. Focus on solar plexus and heart chakra for confidence. Absolutely. I'll just segue to that because my thought just went out the window. It was good. It'll probably resurface because it was another tool. But the solar plexus, of course, is our seat of self-confidence, self-esteem, and everybody shows up because that's third third dimensional consciousness, disempowerment, empowerment. And so when you focus on that, that's why eating foods going into that solar plexus area, the stomach area, is so important. So foods vibrate. So really think about what you're fueling your body with. So thank you for that addition. And I sure wish I knew where my brain was at that moment, because I had this great subway, segue, that's the word I was looking for. Wasn't that funny? Okay, let's see. In my piece, my story. We are in the storm right now. And you know what's so much fun is when you look at the alternative news, the fringe news that is out there. We have been in the storm. We are in the storm. Well, I like the fact that we, you, and I are all the eye of the storm. We are the answers. We are the ones that by going inward, we can shift this vibration. So what I had written years ago was, we are in the storm. Step into the center. Find the quiet. It allows wisdom to settle in like soft rain touching your skin. Soak it up. And that's exactly where we are right now, finding that wonderful sense of peace. That was funny. I never did remember what I was going to say. Oh, well, that's okay. That's what you get when you're just downloading. So, sorry. Now, I had some questions about the eye of the storm, which is really good. I want to share these questions. They're always great to do. What does the eye of the storm mean in the political context? And we've tapped on that a little bit. However, the political context right now is so mumble jumble, and we've got a lot of rats scurrying, trying to figure out what they're going to do, because they know that's why it's literally a maelstrom out there. Excuse me. They know that they're going to be caught. They're going to be caught. Whether right now they're talking about impeachment. That's not going to happen. Just trust me, it's not going to happen. Even though it looks like it, all this 11th hour nonsense and all. No, it's not going to happen. But the reason is, as you probably all know, is because the laptops were confiscated. Not to mention all the other evidence that they have on the rats. So the political context, if we put them out there, we know they're in the storm that is affecting all of us globally. It's not just all the rats that are in DC or in the music industry or in Hollywood. These are rats that are around the world. I think we've talked about this before, but how Justin Trudeau looks like Mr. Cuba, right? I don't know if I can say all these words, these names, that's why I hesitated for a minute, and how Angela Merkel looks like Hitler, right? There's always a bigger story. So, Castro is what I was going to say, but again, I don't know. I'm probably too small out here. Probably, I'm I'm in the eye of the storm. They're never going to see me. So, in terms of the political context, it's so important to stay in our center, to observe it, watch it, and go, isn't that interesting? Oh, they're going down, they're going down, they're going down, because they are. Because it's amazing how many people are complicit in this. It's not a red or blue thing. It's just right or left, good or evil, however you want to look at it. Balanced and unbalanced, that's where they are. But in terms of a political context, we want to stay in our light and just observe it and just see it back to being part of the story of seeing it ending in the way that we want, even though it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of this next adventure. Okay, next question. What would be the advantage of being in the eye of the storm? Well, I don't know about you, but when you're on a fast-moving merry-go-round or a roller coaster, I don't know about you, but I tend to get a little bit nauseous. So being in the center is just so much more calming. It's so much happier. You can laugh and have fun and not be caught in the chaos. So if you find yourself in that spin it all, going, okay, this isn't good, I'm out there, bring it back in and go back into that center point, into that heart zone, and connect. So, and it's such a great visual, the eye of the storm, and really change the eye, even though we want to see into the eye of I am part of the consciousness. So then the next question, how does it affect people energetically that are in the outskirts? See, this is really, that's a great question, because if you look at it energetically, we're in our calm, right? And all of us right now are in our calm, and then you are going to influence those around you to help them come into center. So all of these people that are out here in the circuitry of chaos, they're out there in the matrix of spin. When they're out here, we then have the ability to send that peace and calm out to them, so that literally the spin has the potential to slow down, bringing it down to a place where they can get off that merry-go-round of imbalance, out of the merry-go-round of fear, and those rats will come to the surface so that they can be caught and removed from the energy grids. So that, great question. But just start seeing that, seeing the rats come up. And I really don't even like using the word rats, because that's disparaging to the rats. Rats they're not bad. They eat garbage. That's a great thing. They clean things up. Whereas this level of humanity isn't at that level. The rats are above them. So it's one of those. So we're going to bring these creatures out to the light, like Golem, and so that they can shift their vibration. So then the next question is, how do we see these truths and still protect our spiritual energy? I think that is a really good question. And the reason I say this is, it's so easy to be, sucked in because of the centrifugal force that is so gigantic right now that's on the planet. It's just so easy to get caught. It's like being in, seeing those pictures of the airplanes where, a door opens and they're all sucked out. Well, it's kind of like where we are right now. It's so easy to get sucked into that spin. And so that's why it's so important to, yeah, it is an insult. Thank you. I agree. See, it is. That's why I can't even say it anymore. And I can't even say it to any bugs. Maybe mosquitoes. Anyway. When you're in the eye of the storm, visualize that bubble above you, below you, around you. And when you're in that space, then you won't lose that spiritual energy and your spiritual connection, because you're in that space of light and connection to source. That's most important right now, right? Is to not lose our spiritual connection. That belief that we are part of the system. Oh, I know what it was. There it is. I got segued. I knew it would come back. This spiritual connection. I've always said that we are like cells in the body. Well, imagine that we are literally the cells of not only our own personal body, we were made in the image on a certain level of our creators, but the Elohim, we always heard about the Elohim. Well, the Elohim are angelic creatures, right? And we are cells in the Elohim. We are part of a larger body. Literally, we are part of this universal energy. We are part of that body. So when you know that you are part of a living, growing, expanding, conscious, angelic being, then you become part of that. You don't want to be part of the cancerous part of that body. You want to be part of that living, growth, adventurous tissue. When you put that into context, I mean, you're kind of going, holy hello, this is amazing. So then you start really tapping into that courageous aspect of yourself. You don't go into the disparaging, self-critical nonsense talk. You stay in this courage, this fearlessness, this warrior stance of I am, because you are part of this literally angelic body of consciousness. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So that's how you stay in your spiritual truth. That's how you stay in your alignment, when you know unequivocally, without a doubt, that you are part of this consciousness at that level, and that we are all each bumping up against each other as cells, and we are here to help and maintain the vitality and the health of this energy field, of this body of consciousness. Often see a sea of light points, each one of an individual soul. Exactly. And because we're all connected. And on a segue to that, when my dad died, or getting ready to leave, I saw all these souls that were there waiting for him. So yes, we're all connected. We're all part of this huge, big galactic body of consciousness. And then when you realize that you are a part of this, it changes everything. I mean, it just, I get all teary about it. I get all excited about it. I just get so overwhelmingly excited. And I'm like a little kid. That's probably why I'm not sleeping, at how wonderful things are right now, even though it looks crazy, that we are part of this, that we chose to be here. So this is your homework, right? Perception, communication, alignment, that spiritual connection of staying inside. Oh, I missed that. I missed that. It went too quick. I was in my space. Sorry, Sheila. And then see the storm and see it slowing down, because why? Because we are sending it love and light, because it's part of us. We're clearing out through centrifugal force. The only thing that's going out in that storm is our old patterns of imbalances, unforgiven situations. That's what's going out there. And then we send that love and light. It shifts it. It can go out and disperse and allow others to come up to the surface. Allow others to open up their eyes and gain consciousness. And that all comes from each of us. We have to be a part of that. We have to be the ones. We have to be our saviors. We're the one we're waiting for. We are here. If you have children, you're here to help your kids, help your elderly parents, help your neighbors, just by being in that center, outside of the storm and in the eye of the center of yourself. You get to be your eye. Hope that makes sense. So thank you guys for being here with me tonight. Love you all. You're wonderful. Thanks for being such a great support team. You're all connected. You know, it'd be great if we all did this on a Zoom meeting instead, and we saw everybody's faces and everybody could. Maybe we need to do that. Everything is on the table this year. Everything is open in my book. Actually, before I let you go, Wednesday, 7 p.m., I haven't put it up yet. You can join me. You can join us. Chrissy's involved. Tracy's involved. Love you too, Sam. I don't know, Sam, if you've done this with us, but you have to go to Meetup, and you go to meetup.com, and then you look at the truth and perspective. Then it's up to us for change. Exactly. It is up for change. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's called Red Pilling the Great Awakening, Central Oregon. And if you can't find it, you can always text me. But you can join us 7 p.m. and it's a Zoom meeting, so everybody can communicate, everybody can show up and participate. You can ask questions, you can add things. Another epic message, Candia. So grateful for these fun chats. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You can join us too on Wednesdays if you want. I understand everybody has a life. You know, I'm just so focused on helping shift consciousness, and it doesn't have to be to minions. It could be to us, this core group. My ego isn't involved. I just want to share good things. So again, Wednesday night, meetup.com, Red Pilling, The Great Awakening, Central Oregon, and then join us, and then you can tap into the Zoom. It'd be great. And if you like it, you can just join the Meetup group, and then you'll get notifications of when we're doing it. We're doing it every other week. However, we skipped last week because I even forgot to take my garbage out last week, because last Wednesday was the 6th when everything was nuts. And that's when I realized that Pence was amazing. He gets an Academy Award for his performance. He was brilliant. I mean, he played his part so well. It was incredible. So anyway, this Wednesday night, if you're at all interested, please join us. Thank you again for tonight. Send you guys all love and light. And have a great night. Stay in your center. See the storm outside of yourself. See it outside. It's not in you. And let all that other stuff go. So with that, send you love and light. Talk to you soon. Love you, Chrissy. Love you all.